Welcome to Savi Education. Today you will be reading your second poem Wind of class 9 from your book Beehive. This poem was written by Subramania Bharti. He was born on 1882 in December 11 and died on 11 September 1921. He was an Indian writer, journalist, Indian independence activist and social reformer from Tamil Nadu. Now we'll take your first stanza. I will read out for you. Wind comes softly, don't break the shutters of the windows, don't scatter the papers, don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. Now we'll discuss some new words. Scatter means throw in different direction, and tore means broke into pieces. Here in this stanza, the poet is talking to the wind. He asks the wind to come softly. So he is saying that the wind should not be very strong, loud. It should be soft. Then he says that the wind is very powerful. It breaks the shutters of windows and scatters the papers. Scatters the papers. When the wind is very powerful, all the books which are kept on the shelf fell down. So here the poet is describing the power of the wind. Then he says to the wind to look at the destruction that it had done. We can say that in the initial part of the poem, the poet is referring to wind as a young child. He is saying that it should come softly like a small child. In the later part, we come to know that the wind is destructive, just like a youth. Now we'll take the next stanza, but before going there, we will discuss some poetic devices. See that in the last word, softly, windows, paper, shelf. So there is no rhyming here, but one more is there, that is anaphora. When a word is repeated at the start of two or more consecutive lines. Two or more, see that, don't, don't, and you, even though next you is in the next stanza's first line. Okay, now we'll take your next stanza. I will read out for you. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings, frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. Again, we'll discuss the new words. Poking fun, making fun, weaklings, a person who is weak. Then crumbling. Crumbling means something to break, falling or to cause something to break. Rafter. Sloping beam which support the roof of the building. And winnows. Winnow means to separate grain from husk by blowing on it. Whenever there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak, like small plants, small children, they all get scared and they can even fall and get hurt. Here, the word crumbling is repeated so many times to lay stress that everything crumbles in the face of a strong wind. So, The writer is saying that when wind is very powerful, it is very strong. It leads to breakage of everything. House which are weak fall. Doors which are weak fall. The beams the beams on which the roof is supported fall. All bodies pupil fall. Animals, lives, hearts. So he is saying that everything crumbles. Everything that is weak reacts by falling down and breaking in the face of adversity. So the poet is saying that whenever a weak person faces any adversity or challenges in life, he breaks down and falls. The poet is addressing to wind as wind god, and he is saying that the powerful god of wind, Vinod, that means he saved all the people, and those people who are weak fall down and get crushed. Stronger will survive. So here a comparison is made between wheat and pupil. Just like we winnow the wheat to separate the grain from chaff. The wind god separates the strong pupil from the weak pupil. When there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak fall and get crushed. Now we'll discuss some poetic devices. Again, you see that there is no rhyming scheme. Next poetic device, alliteration. The repetition of a consonant sound in the close connection wind and Vinod. Won't and want. It is in the next stanza. Personification. Wind has been personified. When the poet says you are, see that you are, he is referring to wind as you. That means he is treating wind as a person. Now we'll go to the next stanza. He won't do what you tell him. So come, let's build your strong home. Let's joint the doors firmly. Practice to firm the body. Make the heart steadfast. Do this and the wind will be friends with us. Now we'll discuss some new words. Steadfast, that is firm. The poet wants us to make friends with the wind. The adversities in our lives, he says that the problem will not listen to us. They will come. So we should be prepared. In preparation, we should build strong homes, close the doors of our house firmly so that wind cannot get into. And then he says that we should also make our bodies strong and hearts firm to face these challenges. And then once we are strong enough, all the challenges will be like friends. We will not feel that they are troublesome. Now we'll take the next stanza. I will read out for you. The wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. There is a new verse. Flourish means grow. The poet has kept the wind on its pedestal. He is comparing the wind to God. He says that wind is God and we praise wind every day. He adds that everything that is weak get finished off in the face of strong wind, and all the things that are strong flourish and grow to become stronger. He is giving us a very important message that we should not feel bad that we are facing so many challenges and adversities in life. We should make ourselves physically and mentally strong to face these challenges. And once we are strong enough, we will overcome the challenges. We will become friends with them. And then we will be happy that we had these challenges in our life because they help us become stronger and better. Thank you.